They did not blow the spot up, none last year. Wow. All during a 5-13 season, all through Caleb getting sacked 70 times. Caleb has always been class when dealing with the media and talking about after every loss, after every difficult loss, even after this part, he's been exactly what you would want as a leader of a franchise, especially being the franchise. So shout out to him for that.
I want to shout out both Caleb and Justin, because listening to the dysfunction that we've heard, not just from this book, but after Eberflus was fired, they could have been throwing a lot of people under the bus, Caleb and Justin, to save their own asses, because, man, those two young quarterbacks coming here were facing an uphill. It's hard enough to read an NFL defense. It's hard enough to go against NFL defenses. But the coaching staff, you had to battle this coaching staff too, because they were hell bent on clearly holding their offensive personnel back. Clearly.
They'll want to be great. They'll want to be great. You got it. I tell Bears fans this all the time. You have to release the trauma from your childhood, from yesteryear, whatever. Let that stuff go. You have to visualize being great. You have to actualize it, and you have to speak it to existence. The Bears are going to be great. And you got to get rid of those dudes that don't in your circle that don't want to be great. The Eberfluses of the world, the Gases, the Getzys, them guys, the Dick Girons, rest in peace. All those guys, they don't want to be great. We gotta keep trucking along because we want to be great. Ryan Poles, you are on the clock, buddy, because some of this falls on you.
The other thing with Bears fans, and I mean, this ties into what we've talked about and what's going on with current trends. I don't want to make light of this. I don't want to make light of domestic abuse. But if you're in an abusive relationship, anybody listening, get out.
Cassie.
Get out. Don't worry about the negativity or the fallout that could happen of getting out. The first step, you got to get out. You got to get out. Bears fans, get out of the negativity and abusive relationship. Stop thinking you got to run the ball 3 yards, cloud of dust. Let's get to this modern era of football. Let's put points on the board. Let's embrace a quarterback with arm talent. Let's stop, I hear too many Bears fans clinging to the past. Let's stop clinging to Justin Fields. Let's stop. When Justin Fields got drafted, there was a segment of people clinging to Mitch Trubisky. Let's stop clinging to these guys of our past. We're out of these relationships. Embrace the future. The future is now.
And speaking with that, that's an excellent segue. Q. Shout out to you. Kudos. The future is now. And with yesterday, the NFL finally had their schedule release day. And before we even get into that, I got to ask you, do you even like NFL schedule release day? Is this something that entertains you, or do you feel like it's a holiday? Because there's some people that say the NFL is way too big. It's doing too much.
There's not enough NFL. The schedule release, I like it, but it's a tease. It's like you go to the strip club, she tells you she likes you, gets you all excited, and then you go home. You go home hard. So we're going home hard. That's what we're doing. Can I say that on there? We got the schedule release. Shout out to Harry Egbo. Shout out to Harry and the Stocks guys. We're going home hard, people. We got teased. We got to see a little peek, a little nipple. I mean, it's better than nothing, but now our imagination has to take over and our hands have to take the wheel. So we're going to get to the segment where we do some manipulation. We're not going to see real games, so we got to manipulate ourselves and simulate these games. Just like you got to simulate after the strip club, we're going to simulate these games for y'all.
Man, I really need that trial in New York to end, man, because this is just too much. This is too much, man. I'm overstimulated with information I did not want to know. But speaking of information, I am okay with knowing the Bears kicked this season off Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings. We're just going to talk about September games for right now, Q. Monday Night Football, the Vikings, week 1. Then we got Detroit Lions, week 2. That's a standard noon game. Dallas Cowboys, week 3 on Fox. That's, as you already know, Dallas Cowboys are always the game of the week. So that's two.
Is that in Dallas?
Premier.
Is that in Dallas?
No, it's in Chicago.
Okay.
And then we go to Vegas to play the Raiders, and that is a CBS late window game too. So for September, we got these 4 games. The first thing that jumps off the page to me, and you tell me what you see next. Last year, we started the season. We didn't play a division game until what was it, week 11?
It was late. I don't remember, but it was late. I think it was the first division game we played. Was it the Lions or the Packers? It was the Lions. I think that was week 9. Yeah. And Eberflus. That was the first. Yeah, I think Eberflus got to the Lions, Packers, and Vikings, right? Because we played them 3 in a row, right?
He got fired after the Lions.
Was that the first division game we played?
I don't recall, man. I
think he did something stupid against the Vikings too.
Oh yeah,
he did something stupid against. No, so that wasn't our first division because we played the Packers. Remember the Packers thing? He decided to kick it up. Was it on second down instead of trying to get a little closer or get at least to the middle where Santos likes it?
That was how that he didn't get close enough. I don't remember what down it was. He didn't. That was your annoyance with him. He didn't get close enough because Santos is a low ball kicker, right? Yeah. So, and that gave the Packers an edge to be able to block the kick. That was the thing that annoyed you to the point. But we can every week Eberflus did something that was not becoming
every week. It was every week.
So, like I said, this year we're coming out the gate 2 straight divisional games. One at home. We open the season at the crib, Monday Night Football against the Vikings, and 2 the second game at Detroit. Reunion. Ben Johnson go back to where he got his name.
And Detroit fans really they're really painting Ben Johnson as the villain. He is the villain in their story. And I hope he comes home and ruins their day.
They call him all types of Judases. I hope he sits there and listens to all of it. And when he gets there back in Detroit for week 2, he stands up and undoes his pants. I'm not going too far. He's just taking off his belt. He's just taking off his belt. He's keeping his pants on. He's just taking off his belt, and he's administering some
belt to bottoms.
There you go. Belt to bottoms. He's giving them a Pacers versus Cleveland.
Tate, shout out Tate. That's our Cavalier man, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was all smiles and giggles the last time I was on that basketball podcast. Oh boy. Oof. My condolences. Hey Tate, if you get this clip, my condolences, brother. I know what it's like. I don't know what it's like recently to be knocked out the playoffs, but I remember that feeling. My condolences to you, bro. But I'll tell you one thing. As a Bulls fan, I don't really know what it's like to be a top seed and not make it to the finals. You know, Mike always held us down, though. But shout out to y'all. My condolences.
Derrick Rose was a top seed twice.
Okay, see, now stop playing with me because first of all, his knee blew up one time, and Bosch, your boy,
3 times.
Okay, but that one year they lost to the Sixers, but they were number 1 seed. You're not going to tell me they weren't going to win a title. I'll stand here. I will turn the show off right now. The Bulls are going to win a ring that year, and then Derrick Rose hurt his knee. The previous year, they jumped my boy, LeBron, D. Wade, and Bosh. They didn't have to do that to him. He had just got his MVP. He was a child. He was 22 years old. They jumped him. All right? So we have a reason for being the top seed and not getting the title. All right?
2015?
What about 20? No, we weren't the number 1 seed then. I think we were second or third. That was the Hawks. Remember? They had that year with Joe Johnson. They went crazy. Yeah, so we were the 2 seed, and LeBron had no business going back to Cleveland that year. I don't know why he did that. He did that to ruin us. LeBron obviously hates the Bulls and Jordan's legacy, because he stopped about 2 rings on his own. He didn't have to do that. There was no reason for him to go back to Cleveland and elevate that team to the top of the East that year. That was the year Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose, and Paul Gasol snuck into the finals.
Tatum be all right. Tatum be all right. But the Pacers, they administered something like what Ben Johnson is going to give Detroit when he gets to the crib. But that's just how I'm feeling. What do you see in the first 4 games? What jumps off the page to you?
Monday Night Football in Chicago, week 1. I am pumped for that. I'm pumped, but it always makes me nervous. The good and bad thing about playing Monday night is the Bears can't ruin my Sunday. I've always said that for the last. They cannot. I get a whole day of watching football without a Bears loss hovering over my head. No anxiety. I'm going to eat good. I'm going to watch my fantasy. I'm going to enjoy Sunday. I fully expect the Bears, even though they're coming in with a new coach staff, let me, all trash talk aside, I got tremendous respect for Kevin O'Connell. That's a really good coach, a really good play designer. And the Vikings, you want to say they're going to take a step back because not, and I don't know if we talked about this on air last year, but I did like J.J. McCarthy pre-draft. I liked him. I think I liked him second or third out of the quarterbacks. I liked it because he's a young guy. I like the way he played. He didn't throw a lot of passes. He was smart. He was careful. He's got a lot of intangibles. The Vikings aren't going to roll over. I know a lot of people are trending to pick them, finishing last. They've got a veteran-laden defense. I don't like their secondary as much, but their secondary doesn't get exposed because what's the name? Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel.
And what's the other edge? Greenwood.
Yeah, Greenwood.
And you got the young guy, Dallas Turner. He'll probably make a leap. They added Jonathan Allen. They added another guy to that interior. They run the 3-4, but they're going to come and they're going to play hard. So I don't want to. A lot of Bears fans are underestimating the Vikings. I do think Ben Johnson gets his first win here. It's going to be a hard-fought game, though. But I like the Bears in that week 1.
Yeah, starting the year off of Monday Night Football, that lets you know. See, the NFL schedule makers, they don't put you on primetime TV unless they think you're good. 2, they think you are box office, right? They think you're going to drive ratings. That's what the media partners, the ABC, ESPN, CBS, Fox, Amazon, Netflix, all of them want the best teams and the best
matchups.
And the best matchups, best things to get the most viewers, to maximize that 3-hour window. Bears got a lot of primetime games, a lot of high quality window games. You ain't gotta listen to me. If I tell you that I think the Bears are going to be good, you can say, "Oh man, you just saying that because you're a fan." NFL believes it too.
Yeah, and even though, I got a lot of respect for the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell, but we have to be cognizant. They are starting, which is essentially a rookie quarterback. McCarthy didn't have a rookie year. He had I think 1 preseason game or 1.5 preseason game, then his knee got hurt. So I expect the Bears defense, who's returning, they're returning. Every starter's returning from the Bears defense, right?
Every starter. I wanted to bring that up too. Every starter's coming back.
Yeah, well, except for DeMarcus Walker, but he had pretty much lost his starting job. And we replaced him, I think, as an upgrade in Deo. I'm not going to butcher his last name. But, yeah, the Bears defense is returning. I think they make it hard on McCarthy. It's going to be the first game. It's going to be loud in there. Soldier Field will be loud. So that's a lot when you're a rookie quarterback under the bright lights, first game, Monday night primetime. I expect the Bears defense to shine, maybe carry the Bears offense, because the Bears offense is in the first year of an installation too. And the Vikings defense is tough. There's no reason to think that Brian Flores is not going to have that Vikings defense at least near that same level they were last year. They do bend. You can get some yards against them, but they get tough in the red zone, and they don't really let the big play beat them. The Vikings defense keeps everything in front of them. They frustrate you. It's like, it's like Lovey in the mid-2000s. You might be able to move the ball in between the 20s, but once you get to around the 30, we're going to stiffen up. So yeah, I love that Monday night matchup. I think the NFL did us a solid, giving us a home game under the new coaching staff in week 1. I expect us to roll out 1-0.
Not just giving us a home game to start the season, giving us a home game against a rookie, quote unquote, rookie quarterback
And
to
a
start the
division
season.
rival.
Yeah, that
Getting out
should
1-0 and 1 win in the division is key.
that should yeah, as you already the lines are already out. The Bears are 1.5 point favorite already for that game, as they
Okay.
should be.
Yeah.
So moving on to week 2, we got the Bears. I already spoke about it. Ben Johnson return game, revenge game maybe. So how do you see this? The Lions won the division 2 years in a row. The Bears are up and comers.
That's a tough one. You're coming off a Monday night game against a division rival, going into a Sunday game, with shortened rest, into a playoff contender's home. The Lions lost both coordinators. It wouldn't shock me if the Bears came into Detroit and beat them. Ben Johnson is a great play designer. He knows those guys there. I'm going to favor the Lions. They're the temporary kings of the North, because I think we're taking that title pretty soon. I'm gonna favor the Lions in that one at home. Like I said, it wouldn't shock me if the Bears were to pull that one off. But I'm gonna favor the Lions in that one.
Just to be safe. I will also favor the Lions for one reason and one reason alone: experience.
Yeah.
I would give them the edge and experience, and I don't think they're necessarily more talented than the Bears. I don't necessarily think the Lions have the edge in coaching staff, because we got the coaching staff.
Yeah, we got the coach staff.
Right. So I do think the Bears will be better prepared than they were at any point last year going into any game. But for the simple fact that you do have to grow into being a dog, right? You're a puppy and you eventually become a dog, or maybe a wolf, or whatever the case may be. The Lions have been there, done that. No matter what changes over the offseason, they have the experience and they know how to get things done. Short run, the case may be. I would lean in that same direction you said. The Bears go into week 3, come back home to Dallas to see the Cowboys with a 1-1 record.
Cowboys is a team. They're hard to figure out. You can make the jokes about them choking and all this in their championship drought. We got a championship drought too. But the Cowboys have had some successful teams under Dak Prescott. Hell, under Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy has had the Cowboys win double-digit wins 2 times, and he's not there anymore. So they got a coach.
Mike McCarthy had them winning double digits every year, damn near.
Until last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not tripping. So you got a coaching change. The Cowboys add Pickens with CeeDee Lamb. I don't know how that's going to work. They have a coaching overhaul too. We don't know what's the name? Brian Schottenheimer. He's unproven. And to be fair, well, Ben Johnson's unproven as a head coach too. But Brian Schottenheimer wasn't at the top of anybody's coaching search. He was not going to be a head coach. He was not going to be a head coach if the Cowboys didn't hire him. So we're talking about an unproven coach. The Cowboys have a lot of flux on the offense. Their entire running back room is gone. They drafted a guy, Jaden Blue, a guy I liked. They got Deuce Vaughn returning. I think they picked up Javonte Williams from the Broncos, who hasn't.
They got blown out leg, Javonte.
Yeah, and he hasn't. If you play fantasy, he is not. He is not giving any. Yeah, he is not giving anybody what they needed. Cowboys defense. Micah Parsons is always a problem. You got to account for him. That's going to be a big test for our offensive line. You got to account for him. Cowboys got some talent. They got some talent on both sides of the ball. I think the Bears roster is equally as talented, and I think their coaching staff is better. The Bears roster might even be more talented. I'm going to lean the Bears on that one. I'm leaning Bears over the Cowboys in Soldier Field. I got them bouncing back.
I also got the Bears winning this game. Just sort of like how we did last season, start the season, alternating wins and losses. I got the Bears beating the Cowboys for most of the same reasons you said. Their offensive line, this isn't the same Dallas offensive line that has been littered with Hall of Famers for a decade plus. They don't have that anymore. Michael Parsons, if he is back healthy and back focused, he's going to be a problem. However, the Bears' offensive line is retooled. It's been some whispers that Braxton Jones might not even be the starting left tackle. That might actually be Darnell Wright.
Oh, Darnell Wright moving to the left side. How would you feel about that?
I would actually like that because then our offensive line gets better. Not because Darnell Wright's moving over, but because we put another good player at right tackle, which if they could have done that to begin with, like, why didn't we just draft the right tackle? Because, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hearing good things about the Ozzy Trebilo guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give up on Kyron Amadenchi. I'm not going to give up on.
I've given up. I've given up.
Yeah. You've given up on him already?
I saw all I need to see. There's nothing else I need to see after that one start he had. Nothing else.
Can I say this one thing for Kyron's behalf? Can I speak one time on Kyron's behalf?
You got the floor.
They drafted a kid and he had an injury when they drafted him, and then he was banged up. He didn't get a training camp. What's mind-blowing to me is, he started off the season, I think, on IR or the PUP. And then in his first week where he got where he was cleared physically, the Bears started him at left tackle against the Vikings. That is not fair at all. Come on, Bears coaching staff. Why would you throw a guy out there who is he's just getting on the practice field in the middle of the season against a defense that is in mid-season form in a top 10 defense in the league? I'm going to give Kyron a little grace, just a little grace, not Velus Jones grace. I was drunk that day. I'm not giving. I was drunk that day. I'm not giving him the Velus Jones grace. I'm just going to give him grace. I'm going to see what he can do with a full training camp. Okay.
All right. But there has been some talk about Darnell possibly moving over and then having a different right tackle. That gives if Darnell Wright's able to do it. We don't even know if he got that in his tool bag yet. Because when you've been built up to play one position for years, coming from amateur, now you get to the pro, it can be hard to switch position. Everybody can't do that. But if he's able to do it, that gives the Bears probably one of the best. Well, maybe it gives the Bears one of the most versatile offensive lines in the league. But that's just food for thought. Back to the Cowboys. Michael Parsons, if he's angry enough, if he's I don't want to ever say that he's not focused, but there have been some questions the last season about he's playing them away games. To shout out to my boy Avon Barksdale. He was doing some Stringer Bell type stuff. He had the podcast going on. He's not really focused on the Dallas Cowboys. He's not keeping the main thing. But if he's back on world breaker mode, then he's going to be a problem no matter how upgraded our offensive line is, right? But he's still only one man. Even at his best, he's still only one man. CeeDee Lamb is another man. He's really unguardable, right?
Yeah.
We talked about our entire defense coming back. Our secondary is not my issue. My secondary is pretty decent. If everybody's healthy,
that's the best part of the defense to me.
Yeah. If everybody's healthy, I don't fear CeeDee Lamb. I still don't fear CeeDee Lamb, even with George Pickens on the opposite side of him.
I definitely don't fear George Pickens with our secondary healthy. I like our secondary against George Pickens healthy.
Depends on where they line up George Pickens. What George Pickens does well is he can do a go route. He can do a
Yeah,
jump ball with the
50-50
best of
balls. Yeah, 50-50 balls. I feel like I guess under the Dennis Allen defense, you will see Jalen Johnson traveling, is
them.
what I'm hearing. Um,
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
George Pickens is an outside receiver, so you don't really worry about him in the slot as much. He's not a exceptional route runner. Like you said, he does do the go route well. It's not even that he creates separation. He's a 50-50 ball guy. He's got an excellent catch radius. CeeDee Lamb can line up in a slot. In fact, I would rather CeeDee Lamb line up in a slot against Kyler Gordon and be on the outside against Tyreek Stevenson. That's just me. I mean, of course, I'd rather have Jalen Johnson against CeeDee Lamb, but if CeeDee Lamb's going to continue on the trajectory he's been the last couple of years and line up in a slot a lot, I feel more comfortable with Kyler Gordon defending him than Tyreek Stevenson or whoever's going to be starting at the other cornerback spot.
Indeed, Tyreek Stevenson is he's an adventure. But
We don't know
if
he's going to be the starter opposite Jalen Johnson. We don't know yet.
Don't know. That's facts. We don't know that yet. Be that as it may, I got the Bears winning this game. So I just don't think whether the Bears are vulnerable. I don't think the Cowboys got what they got. I don't think the Cowboys have the bullets to hit the Bears where they're vulnerable. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got the Bears 2-1 going into Vegas. How do you got it?
I got the Bears beating the Cowboys too. For the same reasons you got. I think the Bears' run defense will be much improved, but I think where you want to test this Bears defense this year is to see if that run defense is much improved. I know the Cowboys drafted some young running backs, but like you said, they don't have the offensive line of old, and they don't have the running back talent that they've had in the past. There's no DeMarco Murray. There's no young Zeke Elliott. There's no Tony Pollard. So like you said, I don't think they can hurt the Bears where you want to attack them. So, yeah, I got the Bears going 2-1 heading into this game. I don't really like the Raiders matchup. I don't really like it.
The Raiders, you said?
Yeah, I don't like it. That game gives me a little angst.
Oh, we see this differently because I don't have much against this one. I got the Bears smoking them.
The thing about the Raiders, it's the Pete Carroll thing. Pete Carroll teams. I don't think the Raiders are more talented than the Bears, but I think the Raiders are going to be a better team than people expect. I think they're going to be much closer to 500, if not 500. They upgraded a quarterback tremendously with Geno Smith. They upgraded a running back with Ashton Genty. They still got Brock Bowers there. Their defense is actually pretty solid. What I don't like, Pete Carroll, he seems to take some of these mediocre teams or teams that are even with us and beats us with them. I don't know if you remember in the Lovey era, when we had the 10-6 team that Lovey got fired from. I remember Seattle, and Pete Carroll's just muddying the game up, running the ball. Pete Carroll does one thing. He does one thing really well. He plays good field of position, time of possession. That's just a game that I think that you expect the Bears to smoke the Raiders, and it goes down to the final minutes. Just as Pete Carroll, he plays that Pete Carroll game, and he slows the game down, and all of a sudden you look up and it's the final minutes of the fourth quarter, and it's a tie game or an even game, or even the Raiders leading.
The Bears got to do something for the state of football. They got to smoke the Raiders this week. I'm sick. I'm tired of this wave of old men getting head coaching jobs. I'm tired of that wave. We got to get back on the young cats, the YNs being promoted to the top dog spot. Enough of the septuagenarians, the Bill Belichick's, the Pete Carrolls. Go play golf. Retire. Golf. Get out of here. For that point, the Bears got to smoke them.
Yeah. For the first time in a long time, the Bears come with a very good coaching staff. I don't think Pete Carroll has outcoached us in the past. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I mean, the Bears coach staff is really good. You got Ben Johnson. You got Antoine Randall. You got Eric Bieniemy there. You got Dennis Allen. These are guys that are head coaching candidates or previous head coaches in their own right. I love the Bears coaching staff. So I'm going to allow myself to not second guess. And I'm going to have the Bears beating the Raiders. Closer game than what people will expect, but I'm going to have the Bears beating the Raiders. So 3-1.
No, that's 2-2 for you. I'm 3-1.
No, I got a 3-1 too.
You said that we're going to lose to the Lions.
Yeah, beat the Cowboys, beat the Raiders.
Oh, you're going to beat the Raiders. Okay.
Yeah. This is the game they got to be real careful with. I'm going to edge the Bears in that one, though.
After week 4, we coming down to that ends September for us. We kicking off October with a bye week. Ain't nothing much to say about bye week. Unless it's a suspicious firing of a coach this time, the bye week should be quiet.
Yeah.
We should enjoy this week off.
Yeah.
It's too early to fire. Shit, it's never too early to fire coach. I wanted to fire Shane Waldron before we got to October last year. So it's never too early if they fucking around. All right. So after the bye week, you know what time it is.
Revenge.
Yes.
Circled. I have that one circled. Circled for a variety of reasons. I love to see my melanated Kings take over the league at quarterback, because for so long, either we were told we couldn't play quarterback once we got to college, or whenever we were, let's be honest, 30, 40 years ago, Jaden Daniels probably would have been encouraged to go play wide receiver. Caleb Williams could have been a running back or a safety.
30 years ago? They said that about Lamar Jackson less than 10
You're right.
years.
That was 7 years ago.
Right.
That was 7 years ago, where a decorated passer out of Louisville was told he had to play wide receiver. Now, I wasn't sure if Lamar Jackson would be this Lamar Jackson, but I was sure that he was a quarterback. I knew that from watching Louisville.
Winning quarterback. Go play wide receiver.
Go play wide receiver, which is insane. So, but all of you Bears fans, Justin Fields fans that have been, I told you they should have drafted. Now that Caleb has a functioning coach with a brain, I want to see this Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams comparison this year. We also know one thing about Cliff Kingsbury offenses. They never look as good that second and third year. I want to see what this team does in the second year. And also, I want to remind everybody that for 59 minutes and 59 seconds, the Bears beat the Commanders until a stupid Hail Mary happened. I want that one back. I think Caleb Williams goes into that game with a chip on his shoulder, and he has a great play caller scheming up some great plays and a great game plan during that week off. We haven't seen that because we had an idiot the last 3 years that didn't know how to scheme on a bye week. So I'm going with the Bears winning, going 4-1.
Revenge ain't even the word, Q. We gotta spend the block on these boys so bad. You talked about him earlier. You said his name first. Tyreek Stevenson. This is your week to be an MVP.
This is your redemption.
Yes. They tried to make you to a villain last year. Spin it. You saw Thunderbolts. They tried to make you to a villain. Now this is your time to be a new
Embrace it. Embrace being the villain, Tyreek. Go out there and have a game. And let's be fair. The Bears defense had a game last year against Washington. Jaden Daniels didn't do anything to hurt us. He threw a Hail Mary. Other than that, there was 4 quarters of the Commanders' offense not scoring a touchdown. I need people to remember that.
They wasn't really a potent offense at that point in the season. They wasn't really scoring a lot of touchdowns. But I know one thing's for certain. I know 2 things for certain this time around. One, ain't no Hail Marys because we got the Pope on our side. Only Hail Marys getting answered is from us. 2, Bears winning. Father, Son, the Bears. Yeah.
Where's my backup generator? A Spotify, and wherever you're listening to this, Bears, YouTube, we having some weather difficulties in Chicago. All the Diddy stuff. God is flooding. He finally going to flood the earth again. This is Noah's Ark Part 2. He tired of stuff. You rubbing semen on your nipples. Now we got to get flooded. Thanks, Diddy. Thank you, Diddy. Diddy and Kanye, y'all done finally pissed God off. Donald Trump, y'all done pissed God off. Talking about white South Afrikaners. Stop it. The world is going crazy. Being persecuted. Racism for white people. I don't know what's going on. I'm tired of statues. I'm tired of everything going on in this. I'm tired of Janelle Sindab dancing to that line. Same dance to every song. Hey, God is going to flood. He got to let the rain make this world new. Build a boat. Isn't it Black Yacht Week?
That's during Juneteenth. That's Juneteenth weekend.
Oh man, we got to get on the yacht. God is going to flood this place.
You ain't lying. But everything you just said has been crazy. You know, only thing that could top that off in craziness is the Bears lose the next game following the Commanders against the Saints, because that's the last easy game on the schedule. The Saints did it again.
I don't even need to discuss this game. We don't need to go in depth. This is a game you don't lose. The Bears, the Saints. What are they starting at quarterback? Hayner, Spencer Rattler, Tyler Slow. Doesn't matter. They're a team that's clearly got their eyes set for 2026 in Archie Manning. I don't care where you play the Saints. You don't lose to the Saints. There's nothing to discuss. You beat the Saints, and you make this a comfortable win. This is where I can put Bears in my fantasy lineup. This is the game.
The Saints did it again. It's like the third year in a row coming into the season without a quarterback, without a plan. I don't even know who's going to be their day one starter. Don't matter. Bears and 4.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point of the season, we got the Bears 3-1 before the bye. We are demanding a win coming out of the bye because you had 2 weeks to prepare. If it was Eberflus, it's a coin flip. But Ben Johnson, we trust that you guys gonna have the guys ready. Tyreek Stevenson, we trust that you're gonna have this game circled and you're gonna come in ready to put the ball. The Bears are 4-1 going in to see the Saints, smoking the Saints 5-1 before we got to go to Baltimore, M&T Bank Stadium, and play those Ravens.
You know what's interesting about this Ravens game?
What's that?
This will be the first time the Bears have played Lamar Jackson in a regular season game.
Wait a second. So you mean to tell me the Bears they're gonna give some passionate pumps to the Saints on Sweetest Day weekend, go into this game, then get on the plane and go see the Ravens. And this is the first time they're gonna see my boy LJ.
If you remember, we were supposed to get a real treat of 2 of the best running quarterbacks in NFL history, Justin Fields versus Lamar Jackson, and they both ended up missing that game a couple years ago. And because we only see the AFC North once every 4 years. Besides that one game we play an AFC team that has a similar finish to us. Lamar's only been in the league 7 years. This is going into year 8.
This is year 8, right?
Yeah, so nope. This will be the first time we see Lamar. Fingers crossed, because I want to see both quarterbacks play. That sucked that we didn't get to see Lamar Jackson versus Justin Fields. That being said, Baltimore has a really good roster. They have a really good roster.
I know. Well, you didn't say what's going to happen. Bears win, lose. How you
lose? Baltimore's going to be. This is the year, and I've been a Lamar Jackson critic, but the man has played better football. This is the best roster. I think this might be the best roster in football. I love their draft. Like, they got 2 of the best players at at that point of the draft, and they got exactly what they needed. Malachi Starks added to that defensive back room with Marlon Humphrey, and then you got my man. What's the other safety?
Cal Hamilton.
What's the other? You got Hamilton. That is a hell of a duo. You had Mike Green on the edge. You got. I think the Ravens should come out the AFC this year. No, we're not going into Baltimore.
They got to.
We're not going into Baltimore beating that team. Baltimore probably wins 14, 15 games. They probably blow a game at the end of the season just because they're not starting nobody. No, we're not going in there beating Baltimore. They got too much firepower on both sides of the ball.
We will have to, before I even get into it, just us doing this right now, it's for content and it's for shits and giggles. It's fun. It's fun to talk about, Pernexica, as you started the show with. This is masturbatory in a sense. But we don't know who's going to be hurt. We don't know what's going to happen.
Right, yeah.
We don't know who's going to be available. Somebody can be suspended. Blah 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 blah. A lot of things can happen. Right. Yeah. A lot of things can happen between now and then. So we have no idea what we're talking about. Just to shorten that up. But the Bears are going. I got the Bears going 5-1 into this game, and my biggest concern with this team as of right now was they returned everybody on from the defense. Everyone is returning. That is my concern. That's because the Bears defense was pitiful in a lot of spots last year. They had no reason to be pitiful.
Yeah,
they were disgusting against the run, and
the Ravens are going to run the ball.
They are going to run. You can chalk them up for 250 yards on the ground right now, and the Bears, they gave up. At least they averaged giving up 180, I think, last year. Something like that.
Something ridiculous.
It was.
I don't think it was quite 180, but it was something gross.
I know maybe I'm remembering that wrong. I know they gave up 180 a lot last year.
Yeah,
more than you should ever give up 180. Just that on itself is enough for me to fail the Bears this week. But as you already said, they got Lamar Jackson is my favorite player in the league. They have him, who should be a 3-time MVP. He's there. They got Derrick Henry, who I don't know. They made him in the lab, whatever. They got studs at every level, at every position.
Tight end, stud receivers.
And Roquan probably gonna have something to say to us.
And that's his revenge game. And also, one of the most underrated things about Baltimore, they know how to build an offensive line. They know how to build an offensive line that can run block and pass protect. This is a tough game. I'm glad this isn't the week 1 game. I'll put it to you like that.
Oh yeah, because if this is week 1, it was. I think this is a loss anyway. But if it was week 1, it was definitely a loss. Harbaugh don't lose. He don't lose week 1 games. He barely loses in September at all. It wouldn't have been pretty for us. I actually think the Ravens offensive line takes a step back this year. I think they played above themselves last year, but still, all in all, I got the Ravens smoking the Bears this game. But that's okay, because this is a game in which we learn something. You can take a win in different ways. It don't have to be on the scoreboard. We could take a win from actually humbling yourselves, seeing where you want to be, and like, okay, how do we lose? We're gonna watch some film. We're gonna figure things out, and we're gonna come back right. Unfortunately, we won't come back right the next week, because the next week we're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Kick off November. Now,
where's that one at?
This one is in Cincinnati. So the Bears are playing the best 2 quarterbacks in the league back-to-back weeks, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Now,
I like that you said that too, because we're not just giving lazy analysts and just saying Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback. Actually watching the game and keeping up with what players did last. So I like that you said that.
Oh yeah, this is. I mean, I think that's an easy call. Anybody that wants to argue otherwise, be my guest. But Lamar and Joe are 2 cream of the crop to me. Now, I do get the Bears a little bit of a puncher's chance this game. Even though Joe Burrow, he's a dog. I think our strongest point of our defense is our secondary.
Yeah.
I don't think their rush offense is as I know their rush offense isn't as potent as the Bengals. I mean, as the
No,
Ravens.
but
Chase
it's
Brown.
sneaky effective. It's sneaky effective.
Oh, yeah.
Chase Brown in that offense, he's effective. But when you got Joe Burrow and Chase and Higgins, the running game is secondary. The pass sets up the run over there.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. And they're going to put our secondary to the test before we even think about defending the run. You got Jamar Chase, who is we see Justin Jefferson twice a year anyway. He's a problem. If you think Justin Jefferson is a problem, Jamar Chase is, because Justin Jefferson does it differently than Jamar Chase. They both can expose you, take you in and beat you over the head, take you over the top, take you to the house in different ways. Justin Jefferson does it across the field.
Yeah,
Jamar can do it over the top.
Man, you can hold Jamar Chase catchless for the first half, and then all of a sudden a 64-yard pass, and then he's got a 40-yard pass, and you look up and he's got 100 yards on 3 catches and a pair of touchdowns.
Yeah, we're gonna need our secondary to be healthy all year, and more so, we're gonna need our safeties to be on there to be healthy. Jaquan Brisker, welcome back. I wish we had upgraded your safety counterpart, but it is what it is. Kevin Byard, hopefully you got one more good year in you, because we're gonna get strap your chin. You can strap your chin straps up. Make them tight. Make them tight. How do you see this game going?
I'm gonna go Bengals. Going to Cincinnati. I don't think Cincinnati's defense. They got a new coordinator. On paper, they're still not very fearsome. But like you said, you seeing the best quarterbacks in the NFL back to back, and you seeing efficient, explosive offense back to back. I'm gonna go Bengals in this one, but I think the Bears do fight in this one though. I think the Bears do fight, but I'm gonna go Bengals.
I would expect the Bears to show a little something. The Bengals defense was bad last year, and they didn't get any better. They drafted. I expect Trey Henderson to be back.
They drafted a guy that we think won't get a second contract. We looked at the film. They're going to be disappointed.
Oh, they already are. I mean, he's got a high ceiling. He just needs to develop. Another move. He needs to develop some strength. He needs to develop a counter. He needs to develop a counter to the counter, and all of those things need to happen.
He needs to learn how to be a pass rusher.
Yes, I agree. He's an athlete. He's not.
Other than that, perfect prospect.
Right.
Perfect size, perfect height, perfect everything. Just doesn't know how to get to the quarterback.
And on the other side of that, they got Trey Hendrickson. They still having a contract dispute. I expect Trey to be back at some point, but right now, it's up in the air right now. But even with Trey Hendrickson on the squad, the defense was terrible. So at that point, I expect the Bears offense to be able to do something against that defense. I don't expect the Bears to win. I expect the Bears to leave that game 5-3. I agree
with our heads held high, though.
Right. Oh yeah, we can be respectable in this game. This is a noon game on CBS, so it's everyone. If we do end up getting smoked, everyone won't see it. That's the good part about that. I did say the Saints was the last easy game on our schedule because I do think the Giants got a little something. I think they got a little better. I'm not calling them a playoff team.
No,
but I don't think they're
going to get Dable fired. They're probably going to get Brian Dable fired.
Should have been. I don't think it's Dable's fault. Let me not say that.
It's not. I actually like Dable, but the way the NFL works, you don't have you. There aren't too many guys that can go back to back, not making the playoffs and get a third chance at it. That's usually the kiss of death. You miss the playoffs twice in a row, and you're not some Super Bowl winning coach. You're going to be looking for a job.
Yeah, that's true. And This is his second, because he was brought in to fix Danny Jones. He couldn't do that. And now he's got another quarterback. You usually don't, not only do you not get third cracks at it, you don't get two quarterback prospects, right?
And you didn't get Cam Ward.
True.
If you got Cam Ward, you can kind of say, hey, I'm in the first year with this rookie. If he shows promise, they might keep you. You got Russell Wilson and Jackson Dart. The better question about this game is, will this be Jackson Dart time? We're getting into the 7th, 8th game of the season. If the Giants are under 500, is this when they turn to Jackson Dart?
We saw what Russell Wilson was last year, right? We saw it. There's no reason to believe he would be better this year, right? He's a year older. Your talents they erode over time and stuff like that. He's in a worse system, even though the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is not that good.
You're in a worse culture. Yeah. You're with a worse support. Yeah.
Right. So
not as good of a team.
I expect the Giants to be something like have like 2 wins by this point. Maybe 2 is even
then you're not going to be if they got 2 wins, you're not going to be seeing Russell Wilson. You'll be seeing Jackson Dart. You'll be playing the rookie. Yeah,
and if we're playing Jackson Dart, this is a Bears dub.
I see no reason for the Bears to. I don't mean to give leakers or spoilers. Browns, Giants, Saints, Raiders. These are games you got to win. I don't want to get too far ahead of our schedule reveal, but yeah, these are teams you got to beat, especially when you have them at home. The Giants are at home, right?
Yeah, it's at Soldier Field.
Yeah, you lick your wounds. You lick your wounds after playing what I expect to be 2 AFC powers. You lick your wounds. You get right. You take out your frustration on the Giants. You go 6-3.
Agreed. 6-3 for the Bears. We're going to see the Vikings now in week 11. We're going to see the Vikings. This is the week right before Thanksgiving. 12 o'clock game on Fox. So not a premier game. At this point, I'm expecting KOC, Kevin O'Connell, Caleb's favorite coach. I'm expecting him to have JJ McCarthy up and running and looking like a professional quarterback. Any chance they get their revenge on the Bears?
A very good chance. Very good chance. Like I said, I respect Kevin O'Connell as a play caller. The Vikings are they're a really hard team to call because the quarterback, and it's not that I don't like McCarthy. It's that the guy didn't get any experience last year. We don't know what to expect. He was the youngest quarterback drafted last. In fact, he was one of the youngest players drafted last year. That's a heavy burden, but he has a lot of weapons. The bear down in me wants to say we win. But like you said, Kevin O'Connell might have McCarthy looking like a professional quarterback by this point. Mm-hmm. The Vikings still have, all 3 levels of their defense are pretty solid. The secondary, I think, played above their heads last year. I expect them to come back down a little earth. I'm going Bears win.
Ooh, sweep the Vikings, huh? Okay. Like the old days. It's tough for me to go that far, right? Just to be respectful. And I have no reason to be respectful to the Vikings. They ain't the Bears. I got no reason to cape up for anybody. I don't even got to cape up for the Bears. But I don't want to be that guy who's just beating my chest saying things that makes no sense, because why would you listen to me at that point? I don't think the Vikings take that step back. They were thought to be trash last year, and they blew it all in our face. They were a 14-win season. They had a 14-win season when they were thought to have less than 6. Remember that? It was under 6 to start the season in Vegas. They ended up getting 14 wins. That's the type of roster they have. They have a 14-win type roster. Now, in the NFL, Good teams become bad overnight, and bad teams become good overnight. Anything can happen, but I just don't see it from that roster with that coaching staff. So that I want to give them their proper respect from that perspective. With that being said, November is a tough stretch for the Bears. You got Bengals, Giants, Vikings, Steelers, and Eagles. It's not supposed to be easy. And if the Bears were to lose some of these games, I mean, these are some good teams. Yeah. So they get paid too, right? As we always say, these are top of their craft players playing on very good teams. It would not shock me if the Vikings won this game. If we split with them, I mean, cool, mulligan, right? But if the Bears were to sweep them, you lost power. No, there you go.
My generator should pop up. The generator's not popping up. Okay, we'll be in the dark.
It's crazy. It stopped raining on this side, though. What was I saying? Oh, so I'm gonna just to keep it aligned with you. I'm gonna say the Bears drop. Bears. No, you said the Bears win, but I'm gonna say the Bears drop. So you have the Bears at 6 and you have the Bears at 7-3.
7-3.
I got them at 6-4 right now. Week 12. This is the game that I've been waiting on. And it's crazy for me to be waiting on a game that ain't got nothing to do with none of our traditional ops. I'm hoping week 12 we see number 12 under center for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I've said this the last couple of years. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers organization, I think they're doing a disservice to themselves, creeping into the playoffs every year with a roster that can't contend with any of the AFC powers. They need to get a quarterback. I hope Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback because we need the ownership back. You claim you own us, see us then. Yeah, come and see us. Give us our fade back. And let us give that belt to bottom treatment and then get you up out the NFL. I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph. Did they draft Will Howard?
Yes, they did.
Will Howard. I think they should have drafted Shador, but I don't care which one of their quarterbacks line up on the center. The Steelers are going home with an L.
Hell, I'm right there with you. I don't care what quarterback they put on the center. We busted their ass.
The Bears.
I put that on Caleb. So I hope it's number 12. I hope it's A-Rod because you want to be Brett Favre so bad. You'll keep going down that Brett Favre lane. Brett Favre came back to the division and he got what he got coming to him. You coming back to the Midwest. Run that fade. Come get this smoke. We sending you up out of the NFL just like we sent him up out the NFL. We putting you in the dirt. We finishing your career off right where it started.
Shout out Corey Wooten. He will forever be a Bears legend when he banged Brett Favre's head off the turf and ended his career. Hopefully we can have another Bear defensive end in Aaron Rodgers' career. Is that why Favre has dementia now?
Ooh, that would feel so good if that was the hit that gave it. Ooh, hey, we started this. We started this episode talking about these scheduled releases, self-gratifying and masturbatory. Bro, thinking about Brett Favre's last game in the NFL. Hey.
Let it be Aaron's last game too.
Yeah, we definitely need that. It'll be X-rated in my career if that's to happen. And that's
I would
exactly
love
what
that game, the Emancipation Proclamation. Shout out Juneteenth. We get our ownership back from Aaron Rodgers. Let's take him to court.
I got the Bears winning this game. You're going to 7-4. You got it 8-3.
8-3.
All right. We ending we're ending November seeing the Super Bowl champs. Philadelphia Eagles, Black Friday game. We got another one of those all eyes on us type games. All of November, we playing at noon except for this game. 2 p.m. on Amazon. Q. One, are you shopping for anything while the game is on Black Friday? Two, what the Bears going to do against Saquon and the rest of them boys?
So on that game, I'm frustrated and I'm shuffling through my fantasy lineup because what the F? It's a Friday game. I hate that decision you got because you got guys lined up on Sunday, then you got guys lined up on Friday. And I don't know if it's just me out here, but I'll be looking at the lineup like, do I start this guy? If I start him, he gives a dud, and the guy sitting on my bench Sunday is just accumulating points. If I sit him, he goes crazy. The guy I started Sunday lays a dud. So no, I'm not going to be shopping. My stomach's going to be in knots because for those of you that play fantasy, we're fighting for playoff position. You know what that's like around that time. You're fighting for playoff position. So probably no shopping. I'm probably arguing online with somebody about Ben Johnson being coach of the year and how Caleb is showing that he's better than Jaden Daniels, because that's what we're going to be at this time of the year. Unfortunately, the Eagles are another team with a really good roster, although I think they could take a step back. They're another team that had a really good offseason. Got the Bears going in there and losing. It's in Philly too, right?
Yeah, it's in Philly.
I got the Bears going in there getting their fourth loss of the year. Ben Johnson loses a little bit of coach of the year steam, which he can gain back later. But I'm going to go Eagles in this one. Bears 8-4.
We talked about the Bears' piss poor run defense that they had last season. And we talked about they bringing back each and every one of those defensive starters from last season. We do have a different defensive head coach. So maybe, hopefully, there's our defense would not be as leaky. Yeah, not because we thought again. I don't mean to keep talking about Eberflus and the rest of the trash we had last season, but the Bears defense said, "Hey, they really had no scheme. It was just go out there and try to go get somebody," because that made no sense to me. Like, how you can fall off so hard. But with that, we're playing against Saquon Barkley this week. Saquon Barkley, one of the president's favorite football players at the moment. He's out here squatting 550 pounds.
I want to see a gorilla do that.
You know the gorilla can do that, but
he got to show me. He could probably actually curl it. He could probably curl it.
That's crazy. But it would be hard. It's hard for me to envision a scenario in which the Bears win this game unless Philadelphia falls off, takes a step back, takes more than one step back. Take multiple steps back.
Philly has this thing where they have really good years and they follow them up with kind of struggle years. So it wouldn't surprise me if Philly took a step back. But also at this time, Saquon has been a guy who has battled injuries his entire career. He was very healthy last year. Wouldn't be surprised if he was injured. That changed the dynamic of their offense. Jalen Hurts has had a couple little ouchies the last couple of years. If he's gone, that changed the dynamic of that offense. So like you said, we are making these predictions with just assumptions that teams are healthy. And in November, nobody's 100% healthy.
Right.
Guaranteed there's going to be a starter or multiple starters from both sides of these rosters that are missing. But yeah, all things being equal, I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to grant them that favor of being a Super Bowl champion with a good roster on paper. I'm going to say they win this game. Sort of a little revenge game too, because I'm sure Jalen Carter thought he might be a Bear heading into that pre-draft, especially with the slide. And especially being the number one prospect, if we did keep the number one pick. Remember, Jalen Carter was, before he had the off-field incident that popped up before the draft. This was a guy who people thought was in a conversation for number one pick, mainly because the Bears had a quarterback in Justin Fields, but also because he was just that good, and he's proven to everybody that he could have been in conversation for that number one pick.
Yeah, and even though the Eagles they have made some difficult financial choices in this offseason, they've let some people go. I still think they're going to be one of the better teams in the NFC. So I'm with you. Bears fall. I got the Bears at 7-5
7-5.
right now.
I got them 8-4.
Right. Okay. November is the tough part of the schedule. December it lightens up a little bit. Especially we got an easy game to kick off December. Packers on Fox. Bears going to Green Bay December 7th. I can't, like I said, it's hard for me to envision a scenario of the Bears beating the Eagles. It's hard for me to envision a scenario with the Packers beating the Bears.
The Packers should have been swept by the Bears last year. As dysfunctional as the Bears were, the Bears should have swept the Packers.
Oh, bro. That's my boy. We played the Packers twice in 3 weeks in December. I don't think – listen, bro, and this is not the homer in me. This is not the hater of the Packers in me. The Bears are a better team than the Packers. They have better roster, better coaches, better quarterback.
And they got the better rookie receiver. I stand on that.
Yeah, that's telling me something I don't agree with. The Bears should not be losing to the Packers. Now, should they sweep the Packers? That's debatable, right? They should have done it last year because the Packers should not have. The Bears gifted that game to them, gifted it to them. You blame Eberflus, I blame trash fat boys. Whatever the case may be, the Bears.
Can we blame them both? We can blame them both, right?
Blame them both. Why not? Okay. Why split the baby? It's everybody's fault. The fact of the matter is, the game was won. You had that game sewn up twice. So I don't think the Packers have done anything this offseason to make me believe that they're a better team now. I mean, they did draft a couple of wide receivers and an offensive lineman early in this draft right now, but they're rookies. I mean, they're not world beaters, anything like that. We got our offensive line got better. So what? The Bears should win this game. Fact, I'm stamping that. Bears go to. I got them at what? What's that? 8-5 now.
8-5.
You got them at what? 9-4.
9-4. Yeah.
Yep. And this is key. Tough again. Assumptive right now. I'm glad the toughest part of our division, toughest part of our schedule is in November because you want to be. We need some easy ones for December so we can get into playoff position, right? After the Bears, you got the Browns. Not much to say about that. If it's Brown, flush it down. The Browns have 7 quarterbacks on their roster right now. I don't know who's going to be the quarterback by this time of the year, and it don't even matter. Where the Bears are weak at, the Browns are not tough at. They got Myles Garrett. Okay, great. Can he play quarterback? No. Can he catch touchdown passes? No. They got your boy Junkins. They got Mason Graham. They got David Njoku. But who's the quarterback? I don't know. Don't care. Bears win.
I got the Bears too. The Browns will probably have another tough defense, but as we see with these good defenses, when your offense isn't helping you, the defenses, they wear out. They wear out in games. They wear out as the season goes. Hell, if the Browns aren't having a good season, I wouldn't be surprised if, even though he signed the contract, I wouldn't be surprised if Garrett was traded. I mean, with the Browns.
Well, let's stop right there. They just gave Garrett a dumb amount of money.
And this is the Browns. And this is the Browns.
That's true there.
To me, I would have traded Garrett before the season. I would have traded him before the draft. You need a quarterback. If you weren't going to get Cam Ward and you didn't feel Shedeur Sanders was a future franchise quarterback, you need to be accumulating all the draft capital you can because there's 2 or 3 good quarterbacks in next year's draft. And as we've seen, the difference between a number 1 pick and being somewhere out of quarterback range at number 6, 7 could be 1 win. You don't want to get that 5th, 6th win and be out of that quarterback hunt. The Browns could do it.
That's a good analysis right there. The Browns could be in tank mode at this point. So and I'm gonna just skip past week 16 because we play the Packers again. I got the Bears winning 3 straight games to kick off December. Packers, Brown, Packers. Any disagreement there?
I'm gonna say the Bears have a slip up. I don't know if I want to give it to the Browns. The Browns at home, right?
Yeah, the Browns is in Soldier Field.
I'm gonna say the Bears slip up against the Packers.
So wait a second. Wait, the first time we play them or the second time we play them?
The one in Green Bay.
Okay, so you got them losing the first week of December in Green Bay. That brings their record to 8-6 on your side, or 9-6.
No, they would be 9-5.
9-5. So I got them winning. These first 3 games in Green Bay, in Chicago against Cleveland, and in Chicago against the Packers. I got the Bears at 10-5.
So then we both have them at 10-5 then.
Okay, 10-5.
I have them beating Green Bay at home, and I have them beating the Browns. I want to go back and say they sweep the Packers. And I want to give them a loss somewhere else.
Well, there's plenty of opportunity. Well, not much plenty of. There isn't much opportunity for that because there's only 2 more games left on the schedule. Week 17 against the 49ers, and Week 18 at home against the Detroit Lions. Where's the other loss coming?
Where's the 49ers at?
Is in the Bay Area.
That's another one. I don't think the 49ers. First of all, I don't think the 49ers are going to be good this year. I don't have them making the playoffs.
That window's closed.
And I don't. If I was a 49ers fan, I wouldn't be eager to be handing Purdy $50 million. I think Purdy's a starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm just saying, as a fan, that would not be the guy I want getting the 5-year, $300 million contract and being the guy that I build a offense around. I think he's a great story, but I think he's reached the pinnacle of what Purdy can be. And it doesn't get any better from here. It looks a lot more like last year. That being said, I can see the 49ers as a 6-7 win team playing for pride. The Bears lose a little focus. They lose that one.
It's possible. You see stuff like that every year. Any given Sunday, the Bears could lose this game. Possible. But if the Bears are going to be the team that I envision them to be, with this new regime, new focus, super quarterback, super offense, and a defense that's just playing up to their potential, they don't drop games like this, especially with the playoffs, because this is potentially a playoff clinching game for them.
Yeah,
we both got them at 10-5 at this point. They win this game, they are in the playoffs for the first time since 2018.
2020. The COVID year. We actually went. Remember, we got beat by the Saints. Mitch Trubisky was the MVP, not MVP. Nickelodeon.
You sure that was 2020? It wasn't 2019?
That was 2020. 2019, we went 8-8. But that was after the 2018 12-4 year. We missed the playoffs that year. Yeah, look it up. The year Nick Foles started, we went to the playoffs.
I remember arguing with you that off. I remember COVID. I remember we arguing all offseason about what they should do with quarterback. You say
Nick Foles and Trubisky. I'm so glad that we don't have to have that argument anymore.
I don't think it was. Yeah, it was Nick Foles, and I said, bro, if there's a quarterback available, Tom Brady was available. I said that's what they should be going after. And you remember Tyrod. Tyrod. I said, if Tyrod's available, why not? He's better than Nick Foles. He's cheaper than Nick Foles, and he's at least comparable to Mitch Trubisky. Why not bring him in?
So, looking back at this at that time, I was still hoping Mitch could do something. What's the meme where the guy's poking the stick at the figure length? Do something. I was hoping Mitch could do something. I bought into the vision of Nick Foles and how he won a Super Bowl and how he can operate very efficiently and get the ball to the weapons We had Allen Robinson then. We had Javon Wims. Who was a little guy? He's still in the league. Who kept fighting and
Johnny,
kept.
it wasn't Johnny Knox. It was
No. He ended up on the Ravens roster, the Texans. Not that I started to call him Bobby Ingram just because of their height similarities. What is his name? Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller. We had Anthony Miller still. Cole Kmet was there. Jimmy Graham was there. We had the ghost of Jimmy Graham. But yeah, that was our last playoff appearance. Actually, in January 2021, which is crazy because it seems like we haven't been to the playoffs in a long time.
Yeah, the Bears lost that game 21-9.
And it wasn't that close. It wasn't. It was never in doubt.
Mitch Trubisky, 19 of 29 for 199 yards. Rushed the ball, no touchdown. Well, he did throw one touchdown.
Yeah, remember, that was with no time left, and Jimmy Graham caught the ball and ran straight to the locker room. Do you remember that game? Do you remember that?
I really don't remember that game. I think I was so annoyed with this whole thing. I'm like, I blocked it out from my mind.
Yeah, that was the worst. I know that was the worst playoff season I've ever experienced as a Bear fan. Like, we went to the playoffs and it was such a dragging, awful year. Like, I can't remember a year we went to the playoffs where I was so disgusted. And so, if you remember, we started off like 5-1. We beat Tom Brady in the eventual Super Bowl champion Bucks. And then we lost about 5 or 6 straight games. And then Mitch Trubisky came in, and we won like 4 games against some of the worst teams in the NFL down the stretch to sneak into the playoffs at 8-8.
Mm-hmm. Started off 5-1. I remember that winning Tom Brady. There was a meme of, we beating Tom Brady on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Then we lost 6 straight games, like you said, won 3 straight, lost to Green Bay on week 17, got in at 8-8.
If you remember, Mitch Trubisky threw maybe the best pass of his career right to Javon Wims off a flea flicker, who dropped it in the end zone.
I do remember that
game.
I do remember that.
That was that game. That was that game.
Yikes. So the Bears hasn't been to the playoffs since January 2021. That was the last time the Bears had played a playoff game. This team should be in the playoffs. Agreed?
Yes.
This team should be in the playoffs. They got the skill. I mean, they have the talent. They have the coaches. I don't know. They have the quarterback. If Mitch Trubisky can lead the Bears to the playoffs 3 different times, right?
Twice.
Or was it twice? Twice.
Yeah, twice.
If Mitch Trubisky can do it, Caleb Williams can do it. He can do it blindfolded. Mitch can do it. And this week 17 is a playoff clinching week. I got the Bears focused and blood in the water like a shark. They're a bear. Why are they a shark now? But anyway, I got them handling business, knocking some sense across the 49ers. 49ers go play those games with somebody else. Beat somebody else because it ain't going to be the Bears. Bears are now 11-5 on my side. You got them losing. You got them 10-6.
10-6.
10-6. All right. Closing up the season. Detroit Lions. You said that I think we both said they lose to the Lions in September.
Yeah.
Now this game is played at Soldier Field. At this point, I got the Bears in. They already got 11 wins. Now you got to figure out what week you playing or who you playing. And
I got the Bears clinched too. They did lose the 49ers, but in my scenario, there were so many teams that needed so many things to have the Bears clinch even with a loss. They're 10-6, but they're in the playoffs.
I like the imagination. So
it's a realistic thing. This happens every year.
It is realistic. It does happen. It does happen. You're right. But with this right here, you got the Lions right here staring you in your face. They still got hurt feelings. I'm not going to tell them. I don't even say bad blood. It's hurt feelings because we stole their whole coaching staff. We're not going to get swept by the Lions. The experience won them the game in September. The better team is going to win in December. I got the Bears sweeping the month of December. No L's. They finished the season 12-5.
I got the Bears winning this one. The Lions win the division for the last time. This is a Tyson Bagent game. So Tyson Bagent starts this game. The Bears are already locked in. The Lions are locked in. The Bears and Lions are both locked in. They have nothing to play for. Caleb Williams starts, gets an early hook. Tyson Bagent cleans up. He wins the game. They're still Tyson boys. The Bagent boys reemerge and say, if Bagent started the whole year, we would have won 12 games. I'm just saying, he's high IQ. He would embrace this Ben Johnson offense. We would have won the division. The Bagent boys get another year to live out their fantasy. Bears win 11. They go 11-7. The Lions win the division for the last time of the decade, 12-6. We head into the playoffs as the 5th, 6th, or 7th seed.
Tiffany isn't here with us, but she's always here with Spirit, and she heard you say that.
You're full of shit.
Which one of us were full of shit that day? Was it both of us, or was it me, or was it you?
It was both of us. It was it was both of us. She was letting us have it that day. But she definitely not here for the Bagent bullshit. Because in your scenario, Tyson Bagent wins us a game against the Detroit Lions, and then there's a quarterback controversy going into the playoffs about who should start, Caleb or Tyson.
And during that game, after that game, Tyson Bagent's daddy demands that he says that his son is good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL and wants the Bears to explore trade opportunities for him. If the Bears aren't going to give him a starting job, they need to explore trade opportunities for him.
Man, it'll be a civil war in Bears Nation.
And sneak preview, the Browns end up trading a 3rd and a 6th round pick for Tyson Bagent.
Do that now. Do it today. Do it now. I would go into the season with one quarterback. Hey, no, we got Case Keenum. He's good enough. He's good enough to back up. He's good enough to back up Caleb. Send Tyson to Cleveland today.
So I was on a Bears board, one of the Meathead Bear boards, and a guy said, we should trade Tyson Bagent to the Steelers or the Giants for a 2nd round pick. Let me tell you something. If Tyson Bagent could fetch anything north of a 5th round pick, I'd pack his bags for him now, anywhere in the NFL. Listen, I hope Tyson Bagent gets one game in my scenario and plays his butt off, and somebody falls in love like these Bears meatheads have fallen in love with Tyson Bagent. Please let Tyson have a good game so we can get some draft capital for him.
I would love it. That he'd have been well worth all of it. If he could come back 2 draft picks, worth it. Worth it. Worth all the trolling his super fans been up to, worth it.
I don't know why I get the feeling that the Bagent backers have little red hats on right now too. I get the strong feeling they have little red hats on and are hollering about all the good the tariffs are doing.
Oh yeah, hollering about all the good the tariffs are doing, and trying to buy a Tesla, right?
But they're probably not smart enough to operate.
All right, so we got the Bears in the playoffs, just so everybody understands. I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Shout out to my boy Stringer Bell. All right, man. It's probably not going to go that way, but so what? We're not prognosticators. We're not here with crystal balls. We're here telling you how we think, how it looks to us right now. So,
and don't rain on our parade. All you people on social media, I don't want y'all raining on. Stay out of the comments saying nasty things to us. We're humans. Stay out of the comments saying nasty things to us.
One of us is humans. I'm a bear. The Bears. Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.